Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome to This is Football. Welcome to another special edition show that we've got planned for you guys today. We are here 24 hours after the news. We're here talking Jude Bellingham once again. We're here to discuss it, but this time instead of me trying to do up PR prop, smoking on that copium, we've got three other Liverpool fans alongside myself to discuss this news, to speak on this news, because we've got a whole lot to discuss, ladies and gentlemen. So, everyone watching us right now, please don't forget, as you guys know already, slap the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. Everyone right now, please stop what you're doing this very second, hit that like button, subscribe. There's already 100 people in here, we ain't even started yet. Like, subscribe now. And big up everyone as well for their support, you know, in the month of April, March this year. You guys have been absolutely elite. Share, like, subscribe. Big up everyone for their love. Big up the comment section. Mohammed Ammar, big up Momo, Anfield Road and Yuvraj, Hala Wallah, Adamson, big up Fowler, the Scouser, big up to Ryan, big up to Sed, Tarun, Karti, Zach, big up to John, Sidi, big up to Captain Sal, my brother, big up to Ilyas, Kilian, Dale, Infinite, big up my guy Usman, Mojis, Fulimo, Amit Kumar, big up to Diogo, Karti, the Bozo's back, Aldo, Danny up the Reds, big up to Bun the Zoot, big up to Gunpie, big up to Fulimo, big up to Michael, Hamoudi, big up to Muhammad Hafiz, big up to Sohan, Steve, Ali, Jake, big up to here to there, Ram, David, big up everyone, man, Tej, League of Wonder. I see you all. 150 people are in the house. Slap that like button, subscribe, and once again, big up to all your love for this month and all the previous months. So, let me introduce today's panelists. First of all, make sure you wish him a very happy birthday. He turns 19 today. I'm so proud of him. You know, he's come a long way on this channel. He was actually playing for the Liverpool under-21 team. He was the right winger, also known as Ben Doak, our favorite content creator. Not called Hussam on This is Football. Man like Thomas Little. How are you doing, bro?
This birthday thing needs to stop. It needs to stop. It's getting out of hand now. Ben Doak's alright.
Are people coming to your own comment section and telling you happy birthday?
That happened yesterday, yes.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy I started this trend.
I got a Twitter DM the other day wishing me a happy birthday.
Damn, you're getting DMs as well?
Mm-hmm. This is going too far, Hassam.
But why are you complaining, though?
Because it's not my birthday.
Yeah, but it shows that people got love for you. So why are you mad? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, see the whole comment section already. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Look at Banda Zoot. Every day is Little's birthday. Fact, he knows the drill already, man. Happy birthday. Happy 15th birthday. The best part is he gets younger every time there's a birthday. That's my favorite part. And also joining us on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen him on the channel. I think it was last week, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since we've worked together. Very massive fan of his channel, very massive fan of his work rate as well. Elite guy. And he's back today. Let's hope he doesn't make any crazy analogies that gets us demonetized. So joining us on the channel is none other than the man himself, man like Jamie Phillips. How are you doing?
Big up. Tom, I actually thought it was your birthday, so I'm going to have to cancel that stripper. So I'll have to get off this quite quickly and make a phone call. But, yeah. How's everyone doing? Hope we're all doing well. Let the laughter start, because I think the laughter's going to go away slightly as we go on.
Absolutely. Big up to you, Jamie,
guys.
Man.
Big up.
And finally, last but not least, even Jamie and Tom Little can vouch that he's actually the reason why we're late. It took 39 minutes to do this whole redirect crap that he's asking for, because, you know, we're going to send you guys to watch Monster's channel after this. The biggest celebrity on This is Football, always late, never free for this channel, responds within 48 hours if you ask him if you're free. Honestly, celebrity tax is hefty on this YouTube thing. It's so difficult working with a celebrity. But today, he has taken time off from royal duties to join This is Football. None other than the owner, co-founder, and the panelist on the most toxic channel in YouTube history, Big Six Bands. How you doing, Mons?
So Tom gets birthday messages even though it's not his birthday. Favorite content creator. Jamie, I love his hard work. He's the guy. Me, just bougie and late.
And owner of the most toxic channel as well.
And toxic.
Yeah, I'm the most toxic. This is why we're not friends. This is why.
So
we just be nice.
We waited 5 minutes for that redirect, and now because you've called it the most toxic channel, it's not even going to work.
Yeah, it's like who wants to even read that? Who wants to even go and watch my shit now? it's like going to be 10 past 12. No one's going to want toxic shit at 10 minutes past 12.
Make no mistake, people like toxicity.
No. Women like toxicity. You get it right.
Wow. Let's not open up that kind of worms right there.
Wow. Months, what women are you dating?
Yeah, exactly. The woman I know.
That's my That's question of the week. That is question of the week. What women am I dating?
He's not dating any women. He's looking for talent for Big Six Bands. He's trying to expand.
See, look, this is why Tom gets it. Tom just gets it.
Tom Little hype. Anyway.
Pick up the chat.
So before I get started, 300 people almost.
Am I getting paid this time, Hassam? You said I get paid yesterday.
Tom, in peace, please.
No, because I'm getting paid this time. No, but you said
Did I cash up you £2?
This one?
I cash up to £2.
No, you didn't.
I literally cash up to £2. Don't lie. That's why you're smiling. Anyway,
everyone
watching this right now, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're yet to do so. As I said, 265 people in here already. We haven't even started yet. Man. Like the video now. Subscribe to this football. Let's get this party started. So we're gonna go to. I actually want to hear Jamie's opinion because me and him we don't work together often. So let me just start off with him. So Jamie, what do you think of what's happened over the last 24 hours?
So. Everyone knows me. I'm quite a positive Liverpool fan. I get it like that all the time. But I tweeted for the first time ever yesterday the words FSG out. And that has never, ever been written down by me in my lifetime. And I wrote it yesterday. Also, I wrote that Jurgen Klopp should hand in his resignation at the same time. And my reason for that, and people have been going at me for this, and this is not actually me going at Klopp, that Jurgen Klopp a year ago decided to put this football team on ice for 12 months because he didn't get the players he wanted and he wanted to wait, which I was fine with because Klopp's been honest with that before with the likes of Alisson, Jim Van Dijks and stuff like that. So he's got a good track record of it and waiting for quality players. So I'm good with it. Then FSG lied to him and said, look, we're not going to get Jude Bellingham now because we don't know anything about football and we didn't realise players' transfer value goes up if they get better in a year. I mean, shock. Klopp should have known that at the same time, but then Klopp was lied to. And I look at it and think, if your owners didn't get you the players that you want now, you've been at this club for 7 years, you've won everything, it's probably about time you get what you want now. And if they're not willing to give you what you want, why are you staying at this football club? Because all you just got to be is sad and depressed. And, you know, we can't have that around the club no more. And my problem with it is that if he stays at the football club, I think some fans are now going to think that he's more of a enabler for FSG and laying in the same bed as the ownership. Because that's how it's going to look like eventually. Because you've got a man there who blatantly wants a certain footballer that got lied to for 12 months, now not give it to him, but he still stays at the football club. And now we hear things like, you know, they're in it together. I know Neil Jones personally, and I know he was telling me that the wording together was quite an accurate thing. You know, they work together now on transfers where they used to work separately. It's all together now, everything about transfers. And if he's changed his mind on it and he's quite happy going with it, as far as I can see it, I'm upset with the whole brand of Liverpool. It's just not just the owners. It's Klopp as well. I think you've got to put them together now. That's how I look at this moment in time because I don't see a separation between the two. I don't know about everyone else. I see just one conglomerate, one whole thing.
I hear where you're coming from, to be honest with you, and I'm going to tell you why. Like me and you disagree on the Klopp part, and I'll tell you why in a sec. But let's hear from the other two first. Tom, go on.
It's funny, isn't it? It's just that you could have seen this coming from a mile away. They lure you in, they tease you, and then they fuck you over at the end. That's what they do. They fuck you over. They lure me in. They made me watch Bundesliga football. They made me watch that Borussia Dortmund team that stank for years until this season. That Dortmund team stunk, but I watched it for Jude Bellingham. And I've done all that for nothing now. I've done all that to watch Real Madrid's new midfielder. Whoop-de-doo. Yippee. That's time I'm never going to get back. I understand. I don't understand it because we should be, but a big club. We should be able to spend money without having to worry about how much it is. But by their flawed logic, I understand why we're not going in for him. Because we need more than just Jude Bellingham. In that case, if you're not getting me Jude Bellingham, you go and get me 2 to 3 top midfielders. 2 to 3 top midfielders. Whether that's McAllister, whether that's Barella, whether that's Caicedo, whether that's not Mount, anyone but Mount, really.
Or Gallagher.
Or Gallagher. Or Nunez. All Tielemans. Realistically, I've said more that I don't want than I do want, but you get the point. Go get me top quality midfielders if you're not going to get me Jude Bellingham. And maybe I hope they're not. I hope they're not stupid enough and annoying enough to do this, but I've got a weird feeling that they might be looking to gamble on Jude Bellingham signing a new contract there, which has a release clause in, which is more affordable. And they're hoping that no one pays for him this summer so we can get him next summer when we hopefully have Champions League money. But you're only going to get that Champions League money if you buy in this window. So let's see if FSG pull a finger out. But yeah, it was funny. It was very PR orchestrated, I'll say that much. It screamed of FSG PR. Totally. The way everything dropped at the same time, an hour after all the original news started. But it is what it is. I've got my heart set on. I know who I want in midfield anyway. If we don't get Jude, Pedro Gonçalves, that's the boy. That's the boy. Gonçalves, Ugarte, and anyone else of like Kone to Ram. If we can't get Bellingham and we don't want to spend big money, go get me those, man. Because I'll at least enjoy watching them.
Okay. Mons, I saw your anger yesterday on the stream. I don't know if 24 hours you're still upset or you're calmed down or what exactly.
I wouldn't say I'm as angry. I'm just disappointed at this point. The anger's just turned to disappointment. This club is like the wife that just keeps cheating and keeps on telling me that she's going to change. But every time I go back, it's the same outcome. Heartbreak, deceit, lies, gaslighting. It's upsetting, to say the least. The fact that they told me we're saving up and we might have to sacrifice a year. We might have to sacrifice a year of nothing in the middle of the park. But it's fine because that next year we're going to have something in the middle of the park. But we're just saving up, so bear with me. And then when we get told the price, what we saved up clearly somehow wasn't enough. So either we're idiots or someone's lying. You can't tell us you're saving up and then all of a sudden the player costs too much. So either the players told us no, or the money we spent on Gakpo wasn't the money we were actually supposed to spend. And we actually needed that 50 million to go and get Bellingham and 2-3 other midfielders. But now that we've spent that 50 million in January because the player became available and we didn't want him to go to a rival, now that becomes Bellingham or 2 or 3 good midfielders. So that's what it seems like to me. These guys can't make up their mind. And I've come to the conclusion that we have Caribbean owners. unfortunately. And for my fellow Caribbeans, will understand exactly what that means. You know, I've asked for Jude, and they said we have Jordan at home. Don't worry about Jude. We have Jordan at home. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So, you know, that is what it is.
Bamba.
So I'm just disappointed.
So we're gonna buy that little kid from Bristol City, is it, or whatever it is?
Alex
Yeah, that-
Scott.
Nah,
Yeah,
you know what it was?
That's it.
They saw Curtis Jones's last two performances, and they went, "Who needs Jude Bellingham?"
Oh,
Jones should have a
Jesus
breakout
Christ.
season now. That's
Oh,
what they've done.
Big up to
Curtis and
Filippo who says
Oh.
LFC are dead. Flop on the decline. Your fans accept mediocrity to be the good guys. Also, Mane, leave my club. Punching Sane, leave. Salah, come over. First of all, you leave Salah alone. But I appreciate that you're a Bayern fan speaking the truth on this whole, oh, you miss Mane. We don't miss Mane.
No,
We miss a midfield who can play the sport. And, you know, as for the whole fan stuff, I'm still arguing with FSG inners on April 13th, 2023. There's still people who still back the ownership group. And it just genuinely makes no sense at this moment in time. And this is where I'm going to come to the...
Sorry, what did they tell you? Like, what is their like argument? Oh, it's a blessing
They
in disguise.
saved Liverpool. They built a training complex.
Well,
it's the same
I
crap.
can tell you because, as everyone knows,
It's the same crap, to be honest with
I
you.
was FSG in for a long time, and because I didn't see a
welcome to the
reason.
side. Welcome to the good side, brother.
Yeah,
Welcome to
I
the good
did.
side.
I didn't see a reason to go against them for a while because we've been successful. So I don't see the point of going. You know, I always look at it when a club's successful, you've got to count who's owned you at the same time because it is one big. But back then, I don't think a lot of people were unhappy with them in a way because the job was going all right. So, but now the last couple of years, especially, has been so dry. You know, Liverpool is just packet pasta. You know, there's no sauce on it. They're not even putting it in the water to boil. We are just packet, quick save pasta, white packet, no advertisement. That is what we are.
Tesco
that is just it, and that's what Liverpool are, and that's down to the owners not investing into this football club. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. They're shocking. So I can't see an argument on FSG side at all right now.
I can't either, which is why they're quiet. And this is the thing that I wanted to address. I wanted to address Jamie's point, and I'm going to address this point as well. Jude not coming could be a blessing in disguise, blah, blah, blah. He's played a lot of games at a young age. He could become injury prone. I see all this. Look, here's the thing. I appreciate people who are trying to make Jude Bellingham not coming some sort of positive because now we could get 3 others. First of all, please understand that we are Liverpool Football Club and we are not Nottingham Forest, you know, so we have money and we just don't spend it. That's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is not having the money. The problem is not spending the money. That's number 1. Number 2, when it comes to Jude Bellingham, respectfully, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less if you rate him or not. I couldn't care less if you like him or not. I couldn't care less if you think he's a good player or not. I couldn't care less about any of those points whatsoever. Because now it's become a principle. It has not become how good is Jude, how bad is Jude, blah, blah, blah. It is now a matter of principle. You waste 2 years of my life telling me that the reason we're not going to sign a midfielder is because we love Jude Bellingham and, you know, we're waiting on Jude. So after 2 years of me having a crap midfield, you come up and you tell me I'm not going to get him. Now I'm pissed off bigger than the idea that whether I like Jude or not. I don't care if I like Jude or not. I couldn't care less. I quote-tweeted the tweet last night from 9th September 2021. 9th September 2021 of the same reporter saying the reason that Liverpool not signing anyone is because we want Jude Bellingham. So now you come and tell me 2 years later that I've essentially wasted 4 transfer windows for no reason whatsoever? Is that what we're coming up here and saying? So we're saying we are going to put 2 years to the side so we can get Jude, and then you don't get your guy. The idea is getting that guy. And third, and the second point I want to address about the whole Klopp thing. Here's where I will push back on Klopp slander on this one specifically. I'm distraught. Don't get it twisted. Lol, it's a huge mess up from the massive mess up from top to bottom. Klopp needs to hold the blame 100%. I'm not saying he's blameless, but I'll tell you now why I would probably defend his side a bit more, and I'll explain to you why in a sec, Buck. Here's the thing. By the way, 450 people are watching us. We ain't even on 200 likes yet. Slap that like button. Subscribe to This Is Football if you're ready to do so. Slap the like button so Monts can get off Tinder. Everyone right now, like the video. Subscribe to This Is Football. Like the video now. Subscribe. Big up to Felipe, Buck, and Selection. And there you are. See? Selection. Here you go. Not getting Jude is a blessing. Trust, priorities. I just addressed that.
Point. It's not the
Just
point. It's the
address the point
principle.
is you wasted 2 years of my life. Why did you waste them?
No, do
Do
you
you
know what that
know?
is?
Do you know what's
No,
worse
son,
about
you know
it,
what that
though?
is? Go on, Tom. You go. Go on.
What's worse is when you look at the players that we're going to buy to replace Jude, they were all fucking available in the summer. So we have
They were available
effectively
last
just-
year. Why wait?
It's not like they weren't available. So it was like, well, we haven't wasted it. We just ended up going for a different target that has now become available. No, every single midfielder that is linked with us was available in the summer. So we have just thrown away a season, an opportunistic season as well. Let's not forget that City didn't start well, or as well as they have done in the past. This is a season where if you done well to start off with, you could have a title challenge. You could be right up there. This could be your title to win. And we threw that away over Jude Bellingham, and we're not even going to get. We're going to settle for fucking Mount and Gallagher. They can't even start for Chelsea. Why are they going to be good
And this
for
is the
us?
thing. This is the thing Tom just touched on. But let me defend Klopp first. The reason why I'll defend Klopp is as follows. Look, these same journalists that we're listening to for the last 2 years have told us that Jurgen Klopp really likes Jude Bellingham. And now they're coming out and telling us that the reason we're not going to get Jude is the money. So now I'm refusing to believe, I'm refusing to believe that somehow Klopp is on board this decision. And then people might come out and say, okay, but why are they speaking for Klopp, blah, blah, blah. This is just for the idiots who we spoke about earlier, the top reds who are up as GM now, to come out and say, do you know more than Klopp? Klopp agrees with this decision. This is just to save face, basically. This is just an added thing to save face. Because my thing is, I don't believe, and even if he comes out publicly and says it, I do not believe whatsoever that Klopp is okay with us not signing Jude. Because for the last 2 years, all these journalists, word for word, letter for letter, have told us Klopp loves Jude Bellingham. Klopp likes Jude Bellingham. Klopp wants Jude Bellingham. So now suddenly you're telling me Klopp don't want him, don't like him anymore, when he's probably having his best season ever? That's the part that makes no sense to me. And second of all, the piece that Tom just touched on before we open the floor up, and the piece that Tom just touched on, do we trust Liverpool Football Club to go get the 3 correct midfielders? The answer is absolutely not. Because here's my thing. We already see the links. Mount, Gallagher, Nunez is our target for next season Europa League football. That's the question now I've got to ask. Are we targeting Europa League football? Like, what exactly is going on here? What are we targeting? What are our targets? What are we trying to accomplish? What are we trying to achieve? Because I'm sorry, after 2 years of not winning the champs, after 2 years of not winning the Prem, it has got to be winning them. That's the priority. So here's the thing. If we don't sign Jude Bellingham, and this summer we sign Ugarte, we sign Kone, we sign Caicedo, people would come out and say, okay, we didn't get Jude, but at least we had a good summer. But I don't trust the club to do that. That's another issue. GL says, when did it stop being club PR? Bro, I can't lie, it just got to me yesterday and today as well. Like after I did my video. Listen, man, I'm just living on hopium right now. It's not copium, it's hopium. Klopp and his partners in crime stagnated us, end off. I've never disagreed with that. But at the same time, if the journalists are coming out and telling you the reason we're not going to sign him is money, with all due respect, Klopp doesn't control the budget. So, yeah, that's what it is.
Do you not believe, though, that the owners actually sat there and told Jurgen Klopp explicitly, you're getting Jude Bellingham next summer? Or do you reckon they said something along the lines of, well, we'll do a big push for Jude Bellingham in the summer, and, you know, with all the groundwork we've done, we should be able to get him over the line, etc. Unless he was given a 100% guarantee that we're getting Jude Bellingham, in which case I'd defend him. That doesn't excuse not buying a midfielder in the summer. Because guess what? We were going to need to buy one.
But what reasons have the journalists given you, Tom?
Anyway, again, I was just a hypothetical. Do we not?
No, but let's deal with reality. Forget hypotheticals. What have the journalists said? What's the reason why we won't get him?
Money. We don't want to pay.
So does he control the budget?
Again, no.
That's the thing I'm confused with, Lo. That's the one thing I'm confused with the most, right? Because we're not going to pretend that Klopp's a stupid man. He's a clever guy. He knows what's going on, right? He probably knows what's going on behind the scenes more than anyone else does in world football, probably about Liverpool behind the scenes, yeah? And something must have happened last season that Klopp decided not to go for any other midfielders. So something obviously happened. There must have been promises there. And this is why I'm upset about it so much. This is why I think people get it wrong when I say Klopp should resign. I'm not having a go at Klopp. I'm actually saying, like, if he got promised something and they're not giving it to him, after all that time, and then you've got to go and get Mason Mount in your team and Conor Gallagher and try and make it work. How long can Klopp keep doing that? Because people will start to turn. Now, I've been on Klopp's back a lot this season because, in my opinion, he hasn't done his job properly this year. And I think a lot of people are in agreement with that. He's not perfect. He makes mistakes, and I think he knows he's made mistakes this season. But this whole thing, I don't understand. If Klopp was good, because FSG have no idea about football. They're still the only. Look, I watched Wrexham Notts County the other day. I bet a lot of people did as well, right? And I watched their owners go. I have never seen more emotion. I have never seen that emotion in our owners in all our years. Yeah, and Ryan Reynolds and that were just like, and they're calling it football, by the way, because they're getting it. And he's like, I think one of them said, "I've never seen a more emotional sport in my life. I didn't know it was this good." Right, and they're calling it football, and they're still going soccer and all this sort of like they don't care. I don't even think they know where we are in the Premier League right now.
Our owners don't turn up for our owners have turned up for one game in 3 years.
It's a madness that I don't get. And you got Klopp, but Klopp knows, and surely he would have told them, look, if you're waiting until next year, you do know it's going to be 100 million plus, yeah. You do know it's going to be 100 million plus because he gave a decent World Cup. He's only going to get better as the year goes on. He ain't going to stagnate. You ain't going to be able to pick him up for 40 million and a bag of chips. You know, he's going to cost a lot of money. And I don't get what happened. It's last year because I'm not bothered about losing out to Bellingham in some ways if we go and improve the team with other very good players, right? That's not a bother for me. The whole bother for me is that we've wasted 12 months of our lives. You know, Jurgen Klopp's wasted 12 months. Us as fans,
by the way, 24 months, you could argue.
Yeah, you can go that far. And that's the problem.
But Jamie, you said you think that something's happened between, within the last year or so that's changed Klopp's mind. Do you know what I think? I still think we're being too generous and too genuine to Jurgen Klopp. I generally believe now, well, it's a thought that's just come across my head as you was explaining that. Klopp generally or might have thought that we only needed one midfielder during the summer. And when he saw the shit show during the season and actually realized, oh shit, we actually need we need 2 or 3, maybe something switched at that point in seeing how bad we were this year. Have you ever thought about it that way?
Well, you only got to listen to his press conferences recently, and it does sound like that is part of the case as well. But what I would say is that why can't you still go and get Jude Bellingham and 2 other midfielders? Why does it have to be 3 and not Jude?
Because we bought Gakpo. We weren't supposed to buy Gakpo.
Even if we did,
Gakpo only cost 4 million.
Even
we only paid 4 million.
It was 8 million. It was 8 million, and then
we paid 8. So here's
and
also, Monts, the reason why I'm blaming more FSG today. There's news that come out. Even if we do get investment, even if someone does pay £1 billion for a quarter of this club, there's still no money to invest. So where do we go from here? So my thing is, about months. You keep saying like Gakpo and all this. I get it, but here's the thing. They've come out publicly and told you the reason why we're not going to sign Jude Bellingham is money. So my thing is, if we give Klopp, if you go to Klopp right now, knock Klopp, let's talk, and you give him, here's 500 million to spend this summer. Here's 300 million to spend this summer. Is Jude going to be one of the people he signs? The answer is yes. So if money was available to him, like it was supposed to be available to him, then he's going to get Jude. We can't sit up here with the last 3 years telling us next summer is going to be the big summer, guys. Next summer is going to be the big summer. We were supposed to have 3 big summers in a row, and we've had
also
none.
been reported that Klopp was on board with not getting them as well.
But so that's what I just debunked at the start. Do you believe that? Do you believe it?
Do I believe that? Yeah, I believe either Judas said no privately. He said no, and we're trying to cover it up because anything's possible with the PR that Liverpool want to spit at us.
So, Mons, the last 2 years of journalists telling you Klopp wants Bellingham is now suddenly false.
I didn't say it's false. I'm saying Jude. It was also reported that Jude was going to make his decision within the next 48 hours. 48 hours later, Liverpool have called their interest on Jude Bellingham. A coincidence? I don't know.
2 hours later, we went from making a bid to just absolutely ignoring the whole thing.
Yes.
So where do you
and
go
again,
from here?
Behind closed doors, it could be the fact that he might have said no, or the fact that, again, I don't think it's to do with funds because we saved up the money. I genuinely believe something Klopp has realized, or there's been a realization that what Klopp's vision has now changed. We think of it from Klopp's perspective. We've nearly won a quad. We've nearly completed football. So the final piece to the puzzle must just be Jude Bellingham. Great. It's that simple. Problem solved. Because that's how simplistic this Klopp guy has been thinking for the last 10 months. That's how simplistic his brain's been working, clearly. And now that he's seen how shit we are, now he's seen how bad we are, he's probably gone, oh, you know what? I can't lie. We need 2, 3,
But
or 4.
they're telling you it's the money,
around. Huh?
But they're telling you it's the money once again. Klopp doesn't control the budget that we have. They're telling you the reason why we want.
How can it be the money? How can it be the money if we've saved up? If we've saved up for however many? So that's
the question I'm asking.
So why did Klopp
Where
push
is
for
the
Nunez?
money?
There's so many questions now. So many questions.
Yeah, where is the money?
You know what I'm saying? Personally, I think there's every chance that Jude told us no, as well as the fact that there isn't enough money.
I know for a fact he didn't tell us no. I know for a fact he didn't tell us
no. I think Jude wants to go to Liverpool.
I generally think he wants. I generally think he probably does. He probably does want the move. He probably wants the move. But I don't know. Whatever we've put in front of him or whatever's been put in place. Listen,
I think Jude stays at Borussia Dortmund anyway. I've been saying this for about a month now. I think Jude stays at Borussia Dortmund. I don't see. Because I think Borussia Dortmund are going to be very strong in this transfer. I don't think they want to lose him cheaply like they've been done before in recent times. But I don't know who's going to bid 130 to 150 million for Jude Bellingham for a single night. I don't know if they go for him. I've been saying I think Alexis McAllister's perfect for Man City, and for 60 mil, I think it's a better bid.
We actually want him as well, by the way.
Yeah, I like McAllister. I think he's a diamond of a player. But I'm just looking at him thinking. The only if he goes to Real Madrid, Real Madrid going to spend 130 to 150 million on a 19-year-old midfielder when you've got 2 better ones there, or 3 better ones in Valverde, Camavinga, and Tchouaméni. I mean, that wouldn't make financial sense. You got Man United, who I don't think they could afford to buy it unless they get taken over for a single player. Then obviously you got Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea are going to be able to spend as much money in the summer as people might think, because how much they've spent and how much they got to sell up the balance of books. So I don't know if they can go on one big player with that much money.
Mbappe shit as well.
Yeah, so I'm looking at him thinking, he's in no rush. He's 19 years old. He might even win the league yet in Germany. He's having a good season. Why? He's in no rush. I wouldn't be surprised if he does stay next season. They put him a release clause in it, and he goes for maybe 100 million the year after. But I just don't. I think Liverpool, like Tom said earlier, I actually think Liverpool are trying to play this long game with Jude Bellingham, and they're hoping that's what happens. Personally, I think we should just move on. If we don't buy him this summer, we should never go for him again, personally, in my opinion, because it's embarrassing. We should just concentrate. What Liverpool need to do, and this is my massive worry, Liverpool should have targets in mind right now that they're actively talking to right now. There should be players they're talking to right now. And the only one I think they're talking to that will definitely happen on July 1st or whatever the day the transfer window opens, Mason Mount will be an official Liverpool player. I think that I literally
piss off, man.
I literally think that's happening. We're going
to spend 60 million on the fucking problem, Curtis Jones. What are we doing, man?
I literally think that's going to happen. They're not going to go for Conor Gallagher because I don't think you go for someone like Conor Gallagher when you got Harvey Elliott. There's no point. So I literally see Mason Mount. And I think they go for the is it Polina, the DM at Fulham? I think they go for him as well.
We are not playing Champions League football again for a good couple of years if that's the level of our windows.
I'm not saying we should do that, by the way.
Champions League football again.
I'm not saying we should do that, by the way. I just know our owners, and if we're all thinking about this realistically, I think everyone in the chat and us four here right now can see that actually happening, and because we know who our owners are.
You know how much
our transfer strategy is.
Tom. Sorry, you know how much negativity is going to build up this summer. You know how much negativity is going to build up around the club if that's the summer you just described. Like I'm rattled just thinking about Mason Mount walking through. Imagine you go from Jude Bellingham wearing the number 8 shirt. We've got our next Gerrard to fucking Mason Mount wearing the number 8 shirt. Stab me right now. Shoot me, please.
Talk
Go on.
about
I
Chelsea.
know what these
Talk about
targets go
Chelsea.
for,
Sorry.
though. I know what type of player this club likes to buy on the market, and I would almost take another summer of these types of signings of the 20 to 23, 24, 25-year-olds who can come in, have 6 months of getting used to it, and then have an impact. I would much rather have that than Palhinha, for example. I know Palhinha is good, but by the time let's just say we sign Palhinha and Mount, that's not good enough to get you back into Champions League. So by the time we're back into Champions League, Palhinha will be 30, 31, and then you'll be sitting there going, we've got to replace him. So it'd be a pretty meaty signing in terms of the impact that he has. I'd much rather go out and let's say the club has 150 million to spend, and the reason they don't want to buy Jude Bellingham is because they need 3 midfielders, and Jude Bellingham would cost 130, so we wouldn't be able to spend it elsewhere. Let's buy into that narrative.
I'm okay with that.
Go out and buy me Ugarte. Go out and buy me Kochku. Go out and buy me Gonçalves. Go out and buy me Kone. Go out and buy me Thuram. Go out and buy me 5 of these midfielders, because guess what? We are going to need to replace Thiago next year. We are going to need to do that. We are also going to need to replace Fabinho because he's washed. So why not just do them now?
The only good news to come out of the last 24 hours is the fact that Henderson might be sold. I can't lie to you. If that happens, I would celebrate this shit.
I've heard that Jordan Henderson's never going to leave Liverpool Football Club, and once his contract runs out, he's retiring from football.
I'd love if that happens. I would genuinely hold the celebration.
Sam, he's got another 3 years on his contract, though.
Honestly,
I've said it many times. I'd rather keep a 38-year-old Milner than Hendo right now.
Same. So happily.
Happily.
If you offer me right now, keep Milner or keep Henderson.
Yeah, if you had an option, we shouldn't keep either of them.
Do you know what kills me the most about these people who defend Henderson and, you got to keep Henderson?
There's still people who defend him, by the way. Tom is not making this up.
When you look at their argument, you ask them. It's never, he's a fantastic player. He's a great leader. You know what? You know what's the most weird part about this? I swear we've got the Dutch national team captain, the Egyptian national team captain, the Scottish national team captain. One of Brazil's most senior players in their goalkeeper. We've got I think he's Colombia vice captain in Luis Diaz. We've got a number of leaders in this club. Even Thiago, leader, experienced pro, leader. So we could actually survive in terms of a leadership group without Henderson. It's not like
we can.
It's Henderson and
I'll
a bunch of 18-year-olds.
Give the captaincy to Van Dijk.
I'll be real.
Give the captaincy to Van Dijk. Give it to Trent. Hell, give it to Robertson. Give it to Salah. So many people.
Yeah, no. For me, it has to be Robbo. Salah is a captain who leads by example. He doesn't say nothing. And Virgil is not a captain. Every time that guy's put on the armband, it's just disjointed. Even when we're at our peak. Even when
you do realize Robertson hasn't won well. You do realize
Virgil just looks good with the armband because he has 3 haircuts in one. Just remember that, guys.
Yeah,
let me just
imagine. I don't think you imagine the edits. Imagine LFC snapped on Twitter, dropping a photo of Van Dijk. Standing. You got a scoreline in the background, just beating someone. He's got the captain's arm on. It's instantly cold.
No. See what I'm saying? It just looks good. See, look, you're talking about aesthetics. You're not talking about logic. You're talking about aesthetics. Because he has 3 haircuts in one and he's sculpted like a god. Oh, yeah. You lot think, give BB the arm, man.
Because Mons, do you want me to be honest? Do you want me to
be fair? That's how I became pub captain. I ain't gonna lie.
I'll be honest with you, Mons. I genuinely reckon the armband.
It's got to be Robbo for me, innit?
Thing in football. I think it's the most pointless thing. I genuinely think we could give it to fucking Curtis Jones. It wouldn't matter because they don't listen to whoever's captain. Because guess what? They don't listen to Henderson when he's on the pitch, do they?
They've already told him to F off and piss off 15 times.
I actually threw my Jordan Henderson book out my window when he went and bumped into Addison and had to go in front of the cameros. I was like, how dare you?
What did you have like a walk of shame to go get it back out?
Yeah.
I actually saw your short.
I said one of the kids. Just go get it.
That's one of the positives of having kids. Let me just run through this super chat. Big Up Selection says, Klopp and his partners in crime stagnated us. End of. Once again, We are not saying Klopp is blameless, but if the people are coming out and telling you the problem is money, respectfully, he don't own Liverpool Football Club, so he don't decide the money. Big up to Lewis, and YouTube's telling me this is your first ever super chat, so big up to you. It could be a PR stunt like previous signings. Brother, listen, I am currently inhaling that hopium. I am just hoping. And is there a possibility we get him? Hell, there's a possibility anything happens. There's a possibility whatever happens, happens. But, you know, is it looking peak right now? It is looking peak. But, you know, maybe what Tom and Jamie are saying is true. Maybe they're just playing the long game in order to get him some other moment in the future. Klopp needs to hold it. I'll be real. He's a yes man. Hey, not everyone can do the Rafa Benitez. Not everyone can do the Rafa Benitez, my brother. Big up to Satadisha. Thanks so much for the super chat. She says, hope data guys bring in some okay players, but I've resigned to the club having a few mediocre seasons now. Got lucky with initial signings. So thankful for Salah, Mane, Genie years, but that won't be the case always. This is where, once again, when it rains, it pours. Not only do we not have a sporting director, the sporting director that we did have had enough, you know, Klopp had enough respect for him to listen to him a couple of times. You know, he wanted Brandt and Götze, it's well documented, and he gave him Salah and Mane, and ever since then, he's respected his opinions. But now we're sat here talking about a club without a sporting director, with a manager that probably his weakest thing he has is his talent ID. He can't tell talent. You can tell from the players he likes. So, you know, that data approach, I think one of the reasons of our downfall actually is because we went away from that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Big up to Messi. She says, get ready to send your hair to the gulag, buddy. Everyone's talking about me being bald. Man, I hate my life. Why did I even make that prediction? Big up to Qusay. Thanks so much. Shukran lak, Habibi. Klopp miscalculated. He didn't think our level would drop that low. He must have thought Jude plus one more signing would be enough. Now he's hit with the truth. We need more. He's forced to succumb blameless. I am going to pull the Kurdish here. I'm going to tell you. Move emotions out of it. Forget the fact that he's Jurgen Klopp. Let's talk from a financial perspective. Has Jurgen Klopp not made FSG enough money? He has made the club worth 12 times what they first bought it for, almost single-handedly on the pitch. For them, move all emotions out the way. Let's just speak from a financial perspective. Has he not made them enough money to go like, yes, Klopp, we don't usually spend that much money, but here's the money to solve the problem. That is literally what they initially bought the club for, is the amount of money we need, and he made them 12 times that. And once again, my point is a crystal clear point. If John Henry calls Jurgen Klopp right now and says, Jurgen, you've got 300 million to spend this summer, does he get Jude Bellingham? The answer to that is yes. So because so you're telling me if you give him 300 million, we ain't gonna get Jude?
If he gets 300 million, bro, I don't know. We don't know, because first of all, they're quoting.
We do know.
We don't know. We don't
because
know.
For 2 years, people are telling us he wants Jude.
Money is the easy way out. Klopp wanted Jude, and this is why I said this about 15 minutes ago. He thought we needed one midfielder. Oh shit, we need more. FSG saying, don't know if we can do that. Just put Nunez, just put Gakpo. I don't care how much money we put up front. These men are looking at money at face value. That's what I think. I'm not gonna lie.
I think that is just a stretch, because my thing is, if
do you think anything's a stretch at this point with what FSG and how they gaslight?
But anything's a stretch. But what you're being unrealistic, because I think so what's your bottom line answer? If you give Klopp 300 million right now, is he buying Jude?
That's not the answer to my question.
But can you answer my question? If you give Jude 300 million,
what does that even mean? If he's given 300 million?
Okay, how much money do we need to save ourselves this summer?
Probably about 250. Around
okay, if you give him even 250, is he getting Jude?
Probably.
Probably. Okay, so he wants
to. If Jude is being quoted at 130, that gives you another 120 million to spend.
Okay, so he will get him.
120 million.
Oh, so once again, he will get him if given the choice, right?
This is the thing. I don't think he's stopping at midfielders. I think he's going out and buying 2 defenders as well. I think he's going.
I understand that, but that's the argument he's making.
But then you can't just sit there and say, if you give Klopp this much money, would he buy Bellingham? Because you've got to consider everything. If he gets 250 million, he's got to spread that in his mind across 5 players. So that averages out to 50 million pounds a player. If you go for the 130 on Bellingham, that's instantly 2.5 players in one. So you've got to make up the equivalent of 2.5 players in 4. The overall quality will be lower. And we can't afford to cut down on quality.
How much would Ugarte cost?
50. He's got a release clause of 50.
Okay.
and they won't sell.
How much would Kone
for
cost?
anything. Probably about 30, 35-ish.
Okay. How much would Lavia cost?
45. He's got a release clause for that one.
I think, yeah.
His release clause is lower. Don't lie.
40 then.
Okay. So that's already what? 3 other options that we could get for that much money?
Right. So
Ndika on a free and a centre back. Done.
Ndika is shit. I'm gonna be completely blunt with you. Ndika is shit.
I know.
Ndika is
I understand, but I'm
So
not
then
saying
what's the
for him
point?
to
What's the point?
I'm
It'd
not
be
saying
like
for
getting
him
it'd be like getting Tielemans in midfield. It's pointless.
I am not saying
just
for
a
him to
waste of money.
start Thomas Little. He can play in a 3 at the back, and he can play, I think, as a left back. So it's just as an option.
I just think the ultimatum he was
It
given
doesn't move the needle.
I think he's been given an ultimatum based on the changes that he saw this season. Can we all? So are we all saying that Klopp didn't miscalculate this season?
No, I never said that. Don't misquote.
No. So he has miscalculated this season in terms of what he needed in midfield.
Yes,
and
it's his fault. What happened last summer is 100% his fault.
Right, and has that affected whether we get Jude Bellingham?
Yes, it
right.
has.
So, and yeah, I'm not saying FSG aren't to blame. I hate FSG, respectfully. I hate them just as much as we all do right now.
Okay.
But I'm saying that even with a 250 million, 300 million, I don't know if it's nailed on that we go get Jude Bellingham. As a big club, we should be getting Jude Bellingham plus 2 midfielders and a defender. That's what we should be doing. And
which I agree with.
And rather than leaving it to one window, we should have spread it over 3 windows. It should have been
okay. I agree with that.
And it
whose fault is that now?
It's FSG. It's both of them. It's Klopp and FSG. It's both. It's both. More FSG, but it is Klopp's fault as well because he wanted to go get Darwin Nunez. He did, and that's 80 million gone already.
You're missing the point. You are missing the point completely once again. If you give Klopp 300 million, will he do what you just said he should do? Yes or no?
Did he want 300 million?
Of course he wants it. How many embargoed press conferences have you had to listen to?
Well, Jamie.
So you're telling me if John Henry calls Klopp right now and tells him the budget for this summer is 300 million, he ain't gonna sign Jude, 2 other guys, and a centre back?
Bro,
can we be real?
The Jurgen Klopp I'm seeing these days is, do you know what? I don't even know if I need that money. I've got everything I need here. I only need the
here
one.
We go.
That's the Klopp I'm seeing. That's the Klopp I'm seeing.
You're just doing too much.
We've proved we've proved that if Klopp wants to go and get a player, FSG sometimes, in fact, when Klopp actually wants a player, by the way, FSG have gone and got that player, you know. They went and got Van Dijk. They went and got Alisson. They went and got Darwin Nunez, you know. They went and got Naby Keita. If Jurgen Klopp wants Jude Bellingham, he'd go get him. I do think so, yes. But, bro, something's clearly gone wrong, and there's a realization, and now they fucked it. It's one or the other.
that is a good point, though. That's a good point.
Let's just go back to Monster's point real quick before you go, Jamie. It had to be spread across 3 windows, this midfield rebuild, because you're not realistically going to get it all done in one.
Yeah.
No.
Why not start it last summer with a 40-50 million pound midfielder? Why have you wasted the equivalent of 12 months to just you've pushed it back 12 months and now we're going to have to restart it because priority number 1 isn't coming? If you had got a midfielder in the summer, it didn't have to be, let's say you got Matheus Nunes. Let's say you, because that was the name that was thrown out. Let's say you get Matheus Nunes. Does that give us more of a chance of top 4? Yes. If we get top 4, do we have more money? Yes. Does that extra money further support bringing in Jude Bellingham? Yes. So our fuck-ups in this summer of not buying a midfielder, which has inversely cost us Champions League football, have put us in this position. And that is on the manager, because he's the one who puts out the team week in, week out. He's the one who...
I agree, and I never denied that. But I'm talking about the right here and right now.
I know what Sam's saying.
Right here, right now. Klopp
the right here and right now is
giving him the money.
But it's what Top saying. The right.
How much of a simple equation does it have to be?
The right here and right now is a result of the BS that went on last window, which is why it can't happen, which is why there's an ultimatum. That's why there's an ultimatum.
You guys just want to blame Klopp. I'm very with you. Like,
listen, you don't absorb Klopp of blame. That's what it is to me.
No, Klopp is not blameless. I've already said.
No, Klopp's not blameless, but this is the thing, right? This is the whole thing where I see it. So, Klopp's not in charge of the money. That's not his thing, right? It's FSG stuff. They're in charge of the cash, right? But I think Jurgen Klopp has a lot of influence what goes on because FSG are not football people. Mike Gordon was a very important part of Liverpool Football Club, right? He was the one who knew more about it than anyone else. That's why he had the role he had. Jurgen So, because FSG don't know a lot about football, I think they have full trust in Jurgen Klopp in what he does. So if they get on the old blower to Jurgen, go right, Jurgen, what do you need this summer? Oh, I need a centre back. I need a forward. Do you need a midfielder? Well, these boys I trust, and they took me to almost the promised land and completed football last year. I think we're all right this year, unless someone like a Tuchemeni or a Bellingham's available. Then something happened. Tuchemeni was available. We're highly in for him. That is a fact. We were definitely in for a Tuchemeni. You know, I know a lot of people try and deny this, but we actually were in for Tuchemeni. Klopp said it himself. The midfielder we wanted went to Real Madrid, right? Then they tried to go, right, no Tuchemeni. What do you want to do? Well, Jude Bellingham's the next one on the list. So they were obviously got in touch with Jude Bellingham's representatives, got in touch with Bruce Dortmund. They told him not for sale. Come back next summer. So as soon as Klopp's heard come back next summer, he's told the board, like, and this is where Julian Ward's got the issue as well. Julian Ward can't handle Jurgen Klopp. That's why he's leaving the football club, in my opinion. He hasn't got the brass balls to go against Klopp and go against him. And Klopp's gone basically to him, I want Bellingham. He said, let's go for him next summer. I don't want any of these other Mickey Mouse footballers. They won't do me because Milner's still doing it for me. Hendo's still doing it for me. And this is where Klopp's little bit of a downfall is that we all call and agree on. And he's so passionate about the players that have done it for him, and he doesn't want to give them away. Because let's face it, Oxlade-Chamberlain should have left 3 years ago. Katie should have left 2 or 3 years ago. These players shouldn't still be here going down their contract. They stay because Klopp's not ruthless enough in that area.
Have you noticed players are leaving on their own accord?
Yeah, they're leaving because they're leaving on their freeze.
Yeah, listen, I've never disagreed on the ruthlessness part. Let me just run through these super chats real quick before we just continue this conversation. No matter how much we spend, we won't spend 250 million plus. Exactly my point. Fenway Sports Group. Big up to Selection who says Alexis McAllister, Kone, Spolotsa, and we're good. This is the problem with these damn tactical ability merchants. All they want is someone who looks good. Guys, this doesn't work. Because now I will ask you, who's the defensive element? Because all three are not defensive. So where do we go from here? We clearly need someone who's
Fab's not going nowhere. Klopp's already said it.
And Alexis McAllister, I'd say they're very similar as well. So it's just kind of
Klopp's already said Fab's not going nowhere. He said he thinks
as a man, I can't help but laugh at this. I can't help but laugh 7 times at what happened a month ago. Big up to you, DC. Alan says Klopp equals coward. He's not a serial winner. Don't put him in the same group as Ferguson or even Pep. Just because Hendo plus Mariner shout doesn't equal leadership. FSG equal thieves. No, I agree with you. And this is once again, I am not trying to absolve Klopp of any responsibility. I am blaming him. But at this moment in time, all I'm saying is, look, Klopp clearly wants Jude. FSG not giving him the money. I'm blaming the bigger problem. Full stop. Until FSG leave, you cannot care. You'll just have high blood pressure. They have money but prefer profits over ambition. Poor local fans, no protesting. Today I asked the question, like, what are you guys actually waiting for to protest? Like, what is going to push you over the edge? Because that's what I don't understand.
Waiting for Klopp to leave. This is
are you waiting for? Are you waiting for John Henry to be caught in bed with your wife or something for you to go out and protest?
I'm getting a payoff if that happens. Where's Lauren?
Exactly. Like what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You've got to make a stand at this moment in time. You can't just sit on your ass and just wait. That's my thing as well. And this is why we protest. This is why we fly planes. Big up City says this is technically a therapy session, in my opinion. Also, what do you guys think of the Mane situation? Mane punched Sané. None of us here are Bayern fans. Couldn't care less. All I'm saying is, all this. We miss Mane. Thank God he left. We just replaced him wrongly.
But Mane washed, unfortunately.
Yeah, Mane was just stinking up the pitch for 2 years.
Do you know what annoys me about that is the fact that when we said Mane was declining, when it was happening, slightly after when it was happening,
no one believed us.
We were described as ungrateful. We sold the wrong winger. That was my favorite one. We sold the wrong winger. And that we hate.
We paid the wrong winger. Sadio Mane saved the money.
Now everyone's just saying what we tried to tell them as we was watching it. And we tried to tell them, yo, how are you?
Mane got less GA than Nunez.
It's crazy.
In the Bundesliga, playing for Bayern Munich. I promise you right here, right now, I'm going to make a statement. Cancel me, kill me, I don't care. If Mo Salah signed for Bayern Munich, he'd be on 45 GA in that shit league, running in behind. All he has to do is run in behind and score goals.
Oh,
Bro,
yeah, yeah.
Eric Choupo-Moting, who was a washed-up shit Stoke City striker, has got like 20 goals in that
17
league.
goals.
Let me
He's
not
got
even
17 goals.
let me not even start on that one. Let me
The
just
thing is
end
with
last
Mane,
two
like-
chats. Big up to Mike who says 600 million to spend, but FSG prefers stadium upgrades. We could spend 600 million without breaking FFP rules, and we're still sat on our ass blaming the manager somehow, you know? But you know, it is what it is. Big up to Qusay who says silly Klopp thought he'll be backed endlessly this summer. Should have known that something would go wrong. Plans changing, miscalculation. Big up Monts. Once again, I'm not saying Klopp is blameless. Klopp is to blame, but we're talking about portions here. If I were to put portions on the matter, I'm putting 90% portion on FSG because Klopp wants the fucking guy, but they're not giving him the money. It's a very simple logic. If I tell you I want a player and you don't give me the money, you can't blame me. If you send your son,
for not
if
getting
you send your one second, if you send your son to the supermarket and you want something for £10 and then you give him £5, whose fault? Is it your fault or your son's fault?
Right.
That's what I thought. And finally, last super chat before we carry on. Big Up Selection says, assuming the budget is reported 250 million, probably not, and we drop the report 130 on June, that's around 75% of the budget, not smart at all. First of all, your math ain't mathing, because 130 is not 75% of
I think he's talking about way agent fees.
That is
pay all the other additional technicalities.
Okay, so if you want to do intricacies, we ain't gonna pay that 130 million up front. We're probably gonna pay 100 and then 30 installments. There you are. See, I can play that game as well. So
that's fine.
The thing is,
that's still the money being paid in
yeah, but it's being paid in
for
installments.
Nunez.
So it's gonna be paid for a longer period.
No. So the money paid in installments. So the Nunez stuff, the Gakpo stuff, that's all going to be getting paid at the same time.
I think the
stack, and eventually we're going to have no money to spend in later years.
I think we'll have
Bro,
this whole don't have money. But my issue is we have fully convinced ourselves we're Nottingham Forest. We have money, bro. Can we stop acting we're broke?
Yes, we are stupid to think that FSG would give us 300 million spend in 1 window. Yes, we're silly to think that. Anyone's silly to think that. But we are also. But do you know who's also silly? Jurgen Klopp for not doing anything in the previous window to take the cost away from the next window. It's just that simple.
I agree with. But right here, right now, he's telling you, I want him. You're not giving him the money. Now, where do we go from here?
Simple. They're going because you told us you wanted a striker and you only need one midfielder and you don't want anyone else. And you know how we operate. You signed a contract where you know that's not how we spend money. You know how this club works. So because of your foolishness in the summer, now we ain't getting him now because you realized, oh shit, we need more. That's what it is.
Okay, listen, before everyone responds, 600 people watching us. Big up to you guys. Make sure you slap the likes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're yet to do so. We can't not be on 300 likes minimum. Slap that like button now. Subscribe to This Is Football. Big up to Felipe, Buck, Selection, A, Luis, Saturday, Shamesi FC, Qusay, D, Sidi, Alan, Mike, and Vagabond for the super chats. Everyone right now, slap that like button. 600 people watching us. Minimum 300 likes, 50%. Everyone right now, stop what you're doing. Hit that like button. Subscribe to This Is Football. Big up everyone who sends in super chat. Always shows us support. We'll address them in the next stop, the rest of them, but make sure you like and subscribe. So here's the thing. I think Jamie's explained his part. Mott's explained. Tom, where do you lie with this whole Klopp thing before we just open the floor up again?
In what sense? How much blame I proportionate to it? I think it's yes, he should get more money. Obviously, he should get more money, but I also do believe that he is at fault for not buying a midfielder in the summer because everything logically pointed to buying a midfielder in the summer. Even if you were planning on spreading a rebuild across multiple windows, buy the first piece early on, let them settle in. And because we didn't buy a midfielder in the summer, we are now in a position where we are 8th, not going to get Champions League football, missing out on something like 20. I can't remember how much it is, but it's a fair chunk of money, which probably could have been used to fund Jude Bellingham. I think we should be able to fund them anyway, and I think it's stupid that we're not able to fund them. But I do also think that Jurgen Klopp has to take blame for not buying a midfielder in the summer, ultimately resulting on us being in this position, which is in turn costing us revenue, which we would be spending in the market. But it's just a sign that the way the club's ran, this self-sustainable model, is not sustainable for the level that we want to be at. It's sustainable for the level that FSG need to make money. 100% it is. but it's not sustainable for the competitive level.
Top level, not sustainable. I agree.
I agree.
Jamie,
Totally.
mate. Do you agree as well that Klopp signed the contract knowing what he was going to get himself into? So he knows how you said he knows anything more. He knows more than anyone how this club works.
Let me put the two Klopp outers next to each other. Let me just
bro,
bring them in.
no one. I never don't do that because I never said I was Klopp out. I'm saying that I'm blaming Klopp. I can blame Klopp without calling him without saying Klopp out. What I'm saying is, if Jurgen signed that dotted line and he knows the ins and outs of this club more than anyone, then he knows that potentially spending 250 and 300 mil ain't gonna happen. It's Klopp's fault that we are here in this situation. He knows that FSG are going to tell him no and that he can't get both, and it's one or the other. He knows this. So it's his fuck up as to why we're here. So yes, it's FSG's fault. They are the bigger problem. But Klopp is also an issue. A big one.
Yeah, I mean, look.
I don't know how you can't see that. So how can you not see that?
I've said it for a while. Look. FSG are never going to leave this football club, in my opinion. That Klopp is the face of Liverpool, right? And rightly so, probably. He's the face of Liverpool Football Club. And the problem is, with what we're looking at now, it looks like Jurgen Klopp has FSG's back. And I think that's what a lot of people are getting a bit upset about at the moment. We know FSG are the issue and they're the problem. There's no doubt about it. Jurgen Klopp has miscalculated things in the last year. I think we can all agree with that. He, miscalculating last summer's transfer thing, I think we all put some blame definitely on him on that, as well as FSG. The way we played this season, I think, is down to Klopp as well at times, but he's the face of this club. And if he's the face of this club, we all love him. Klopp's loved, man. I've not seen a manager at Liverpool loved, since Bill Shankly, Bob Paisley days, That's how much love this guy's got. And if he stays at this football club and continuously stays at this football club, FSG are not going to go anywhere because and fans will start to think Jurgen has got their back because he keeps staying. He had the chance to leave, coming up, and he signed a new deal. If Jurgen signs, this is one for everyone. If Jurgen signs another new deal in 2 years' time and just continuously stays at Liverpool Football Club, what do we talk about then? What do we say then? Because for me, that would be madness considering, what FSG are doing. They promised him something and he's not getting what he got promised. And then we're always going to sit here as a fan base go, it's a bit mad that Jurgen's still staying though, because everyone goes on about Jurgen's legacy and stuff like that and things about that. And, if he stays any longer, Liverpool just going to be a mid-table club because FSG are not going to give them money to succeed to get him back where he needs to be. But if he continuously stays, how can we not start to look at Jurgen and go, maybe Jurgen just likes FSG? I honestly, in my opinion, because if you listen to Jurgen Klopp talk about anything that ain't football, Jurgen's a socialist. Jurgen's a left-wing man, right? Personally, I think Jurgen likes the way FSG run a business as a personal side of it, not do with football or anything. I think he likes the way FSG run a business. I don't think Klopp likes all this massive money that's going around now. He spoke about it so many times publicly. I don't think he likes people like state-owned clubs and stuff. I think he personally doesn't like it. He's gone on record and spoke about that. So when you put all that into thing, you've got to think that, he looks like he's embedded with FSG, and that's what a lot of people are starting to say. I don't think he is.
Enabling it. He's enabling this mediocrity.
It's like if my best mate kills somebody, and he tells me, and I stay his best mate, and I never tell anybody. I'm just as bad. And I'm not saying Jurgen Klopp does any of this. Jurgen Klopp's not in charge of the money at the end of the day. But if he stays at the football club, knowing that he's never going to get what he wants, what do we actually say about Jurgen's legacy with that?
I agree with that. And that's why I don't think I could back Klopp till the end of time. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to sit up here and never think that Klopp won't take us forward. Like, there will come a moment in time if this does continue. For example, I've already mentioned the previous streams. For me, next season, I'm not even talking about competing. It's about winning. Obviously, we're not in the champs anymore. The idea is to win the Premier League. Simple as that. No excuses, none of this whole lovey-dovey, oh my God, we competed, we tried, all this crap. I couldn't care less. Next season, it's about winning. If you can't deliver the Premier League, you need to leave. Simple as that for me. Because I just, we've already had, low-key when you think about it, we've already had 2 really bad seasons. The one with the centre-back crisis and this one. And we've had a season where we haven't achieved our goals, which is the last season, because we only won the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. So now you're just sat here thinking like, okay, like where do we go from here? And now this is where as well, once again, if you're in charge of the whole institution, which is Fenway Sports Group, you've got to also, for example, help out Klopp, sporting director, all of this shit. Like you can't just sit on your ass and not do anything about it, because we clearly need a sporting director, someone with a little bit of a CV who can look Klopp straight in the eye and say, Klopp, you're wrong. We actually need this. We don't need that. These are the things, for example, that Michael Edwards done at the start, which given Liverpool the success that they got. No, we're not going to get Brandt. You're going to get Mane. No, we're not going to get Götze. You're going to get Salah. And then look how they worked out. Those two, one of the sort of the foundations of all the Liverpool success. So for me, I'm blaming FSG for this whole situation, 90%, blaming probably 10% on Klopp based on what he's done previously. But right now, I put it as simple logic as Klopp wants the guy. They're not giving him the money. I'm not going to blame the guy that's not being given the money. That's my only thing. Like, it's just as simple as that for me.
Oh my God, I just seen Sank on Twitter.
Jota for Mount?
Yeah, oh my God. Do you know what? I'd be up for Jota leaving. I really would. Because
for Mount, though?
Not for Mount. I'd just be up for Jota leaving.
I'm tired of
Do you happen to remember that video idea I had? And that trade thing that I suggested could have happened at the start of the season. And I remember someone telling me that we'd never do a trade with Jota and Mount.
I look at Jota and I think out of all our attackers, if we're going to sell one, I think it would be Jota, because Darwin's brand new, Gakpo's brand new, Salah ain't going to go nowhere, and Luis Diaz is basically brand new still. So Jota's the one.
Selling an attacker though, I really don't.
I don't know, but I know this football club. They're going to have to get money from somewhere. You know what I mean?
It would defeat the point, because if you sell Jota, you then need to buy another attacker, so you're not getting the full, let's say 50, 60 million. You're gonna get about 30 of it. So then there was no point in fucking selling Jota.
I can't be doing.
You're not going to be able to find a player of Jota's skill set for cheaper than what we paid for him.
I'd keep Bobby over Jota.
Jota's a player who does need that rhythm to get going, and if his fitness stays the same, you ain't going to catch that rhythm. He's not going to get any better. So
I know what Jota. I know what Jota can give me. I know what Jota can give me if he can stay fit, and I'm hoping.
Yeah, this isn't his level. No goals in a year is not his level.
With rotation, with the development of Nunez and Gakpo and everyone, and with an actual working system, he will be able to pick and choose his games better. And at the end of the day, he is still the best natural finisher at this club. That's a stone.
You always have to overdo shit, man. Like
he's never going to play striker again.
I mean,
one day, when Mo Salah leaves this club is when we'll finally respect him.
Again,
when he fucking retires or moves to another club is when we realize a winger scoring 500 goals every year is not normal. That's when we realize it.
Right,
Jota's the best finisher. He's went a whole year without a goal.
When did I say Jota is I said he's the best natural finisher, because guess what? Mo Salah is a trained finisher and a ridiculously good trained finisher. Jota is a natural finisher. He hasn't trained any of that. He's just had that.
So can you tell me in his nature the last time he scored 20 goals?
Last season?
No, he didn't score 20 goals.
Comps?
No, Prem.
Obviously,
did he even hit 15 in the Prem?
He hit 15.
Last season,
He got 15 last season.
He was like the third top scorer last season.
Bro, honestly, you guys just out here capping, man. 31 games, no goals, natural finisher.
I'll be honest. The reason it seems pessimistic, but by the time we fix the midfield, the attack's going to need surgery. That's the way I see it.
Or the attack will be better once the midfield is fixed.
Or even worse, the centre backs will be the new midfield.
But this is why, for me, sacrificing a year is borderline unforgivable, because this squad is aging. How do you do that when the squad is aging? It's not like we have Arsenal's age in our squad and we can afford to take a year off. By the time certain men come good, that we're again not logically hoping, it's hopium, like Hassan would say. By the time those guys hopefully come good, not logic, hopefully come good. Certain man are going to
Using
be
my own
32.
bars now.
Thiago won't be here. Virgil will be 33. Salah will be 33. Alisson will be going into his 30s. I think he's 30 already. Fabinho's already 49. Henderson will probably still be here. Milner will be probably part of the coaching staff, player manager. I don't know what the fuck he'll be doing. But you see what I'm saying? This is an aging squad. The best players, the spine of this team, are aging. And these men think you can take a year off and then not proceed to get the guy who took a year off for. This club is a joke. And the manager is an enabler of the joke. So he's a prick as well.
It's all right because Trent's
needs
got to
to
play
put his
midfield.
Let's bear in mind. Let's just say, you know what? Let's buy into the narrative that people want to run with, and that is that Jurgen Klopp was promised Jude Bellingham, and now they've backed out on the promise. If that's the case, Jurgen Klopp should sit there in his press conference on Friday before Leeds and say it, because guess what? They won't sack him because they'd be fucked if they sacked him. And if he says that, then maybe people will open their eyes and maybe it'll change the narrative on it. But if he just sits there and goes, no, I agree with the decision, it's this, it's that, then either he's an enabler and he actively supports this way the club is run, or he actually agrees with the decision. Unless he comes out, let's bear in mind, if he comes out and says, they promised me this and it hasn't happened, they're not going to sack him on the spot because that would be crazy. They'd be idiots for that. There would be there'd be 100% protests. Be protest like you wouldn't believe. He has all the power in this football club. So start using it if you're not getting what you want. And guess what? If that doesn't work, walk. Because if you're doing it for the right reasons, if you're doing it because you were promised something and you didn't get it, I can't knock it. But if you sit there with a company smile and keep supporting the decisions and keep backing decisions, then you're an enabler and you're...
I want to see Klopp this Friday. He probably won't do it, but I want to see him turn into prime Jose Mourinho. And
He's just got to have a go.
Yeah.
Just want to
turn into prime Jose Mourinho.
But they cannot sack Klopp. They don't have the
power.
He doesn't need to go to prime Jose. He just needs to go to
Benitez. FSG is the most toxic relationship going. Just say it as it is.
You keep talking about toxic relationships. I'm worried.
Like FSG are the wife that you man didn't want our unks to marry, and he's married her now, and he just does every click, every direction, everything she says. He just does it, wrap round the finger, and that's what it is.
Do you know what's mad?
Like, you wanted to turn into Mourinho, but the second he gets in the boardroom, oh yes, dude. That's fine.
Do you know what's mad though? I don't even think we have to do too much in the summer to actually be better next season.
And I'm saying it because I love Klopp. I promise you.
But the thing is, Jamie, who's going to make these decisions, man? Because once again, like we say, okay, I agree with you. Okay, fuck Jude Bellingham. How about that? Fuck him. Okay, I hope we don't sign him. Everyone, let's just say fuck the whole Jude Bellingham thing. So now, do we trust Klopp and the current people at the club to get the three right midfielders?
That's the problem.
We have no choice. We have no choice. We have to do that.
The idea is not that Jude Bellingham is the hero. No one said that. The point is, why you wasted 2 years of my life? Like, that's my problem.
It's the print. As I said, in fact, Hassan, we said this during the summer. Me and you said Barella. Me and you both said it ain't even Bellingham. It's Barella for us. We said that.
Oh, Barella shit's all over in Bellingham. Yeah.
So again, it's just a principle, and it just shows for other people who want to come in that the grass ain't always greener here on Merseyside. That's just what it is. But at the end of the day, now we have to look at it where maybe it's a blessing in disguise, and it's more we have no choice to hope it's a blessing in disguise rather than prefer, or whether you want Bellingham or whether you want free midfield. It's not a choice. We just have to hope now that whoever we get.
And by the way, now with this whole Jude stuff, we've just got to go 5 from 5 this summer. 3 correct midfielders, 2 correct defenders.
Yeah, we have
to have 100% goals, no misses.
Yeah, and maybe it's good that we have to then. There's more pressure on the board to go and get midfielders off the back of missing out on the main target. That is the positives. Though there are positives from this, of course. But as fans, we have every right to be annoyed at exactly what Hisham just said. But I have to get moving because my streamers. I have to.
Okay, let me just run through these super chats and then we wrap up, okay?
Yeah, but I gotta start it up.
You have to go. Okay, so Mons, tell the people where they can find you, my brother.
You can find me on Big Six Bands next. We're going to be discussing obviously Vinny Jr. absolutely ruining Reece James, but no one wants to speak about it. No 30
that's
minute
embarrassing.
no 30-minute monologue in the studio about it like they did with Trent, you know. And we'll also be talking on Mane versus Sane. They're probably going to be next on. That's probably the next boxing match because they just want to pit everyone against anyone these days. I think Tommy Fury is fighting someone from One Direction, so anyone's fighting these days. So listen, head over there if you want to hear about all that stuff and anything Liverpool. And take care, guys. I'll be there. We'll be over there after this. Make sure you like and subscribe, though. Hit that like button right now and subscribe to all of these guys.
Big up, man.
Do you know what's mad about that Reece James thing? Do you remember the season when Trent had the dodgy 5 games to start off with and they went on Monday Night Football and Gary Neville was stood up in the studio? I don't think you will have seen it, Sam, because I don't think you get Sky Sports in Jordan. But Gary Neville literally was in the studio, standing up, walking around, doing the correct, but like, you got to do this, you got to step up, you got to move back. You won't do this for Reece James. You'll sit there and go, Reece James is good. He's had a dodgy game. It happens. With Trent, Gary Neville was about 5 minutes away from donning an 08-09 United kit and running around the studio. The agenda with Trent is...
The agenda reeks because he's coming for their throne. No one's afraid of Reece James. Anyway, let me just run through the super chats before we wrap up. Big up to Qusay says, P.S. This is LFC. Something always goes wrong. That's true. Murphy's Law. You told me, my brother. And by the way, guys, listen to Munch. 565 people are watching us right now. Make sure you slap the like. Make sure you subscribe to this football if you're yet to do so. We're literally 5 subscribers away from 12.5k. Massive milestone. So make sure you slap the likes. Make sure you subscribe, my people. As always, you guys showing me all the love and support. Big up to Felipe, who says, do you think FSG will sell a big player to fund a massive rebuild? Like maybe selling Salah, and then they replace Salah with a Senegalese player. If Mane comes back to this football club, I might have the biggest rant in the history of rants known to mankind ever on a YouTube stream. Like, that will be worse than anything.
Sadio Mane is leaving Bayern in the summer, by the way.
Prime AFTV done. Like, I'm going to be bad. And even if he's leaving Bayern, that's none of my business. Send him elsewhere, respectfully. And as to the sell part, we might have to raise money from selling the likes of Simicast, maybe selling the likes of, you know, maybe someone like that. I don't know.
Oh my God, do you want to sound any more sad saying Simicast?
Because
Simicast or that.
But here's the thing. I expect now that you're not going to spend money on Jude, that you don't need to sell anyone. That's my thing. Like, you can't tell me also without signing Jude that you still need to sell people. That's where I have a problem with it. Big up to Vacabond for the super chat. Big up to you, my brother. He says, who runs Liverpool on a day-to-day basis?
Mr.
Who runs
Bean.
Liverpool on a day-to-day basis currently? If you want me to be honest completely, it's probably Klopp. Yeah. He's probably the guy making the decisions. I'm going to be real with you. And we've heard about, you know, Klopp's increasing power in terms of making transfers. Klopp's increasing power in terms of this, how much power he's given Pep Linders. All of these things like have come out, and it's not just one or two guys. It's all the major journalists have spoken about it. Many people have spoken about it already, about how maybe Klopp empowers people too much, maybe, or, you know, gives them too much power. Okay. And we've heard about how he's kind of the one making the transfer decisions. Exactly what Jamie spoke on earlier, like Tchouameni, Bellingham. But then after that, I don't want anyone else. This is the thing. This is where Klopp has to take accountability, because I go back to last summer. Okay, so Tchouameni, Bellingham don't want to come. Caicedo was available for 40, for example. That's 40 million right there, well spent. Even if a Matheus Nunez, hell, even a Tielemans, for like, just give me something. Give me something to improve on what I currently have. All said options that we were linked with, every single one of them, by definition, come in and our second best midfielder directly. After Thiago, they immediately become the second best midfielder.
Well, you could argue Arthur Melo is our second best midfielder.
There you are.
Tielemans isn't better than Bajcetic.
No, he is.
Tielemans. Why do we not use the free transfer market, by the way, when there's good players on that free market?
It's not good value in the way that
I don't care about value no more, though. We just need good players.
But this club lives and dies by value, unfortunately, which is why
But by definition, free transfer is good value.
No, but it's not.
You're going to make money on a freebie, ain't you?
It's not, because guess what? You still end up. Let's say I'm going to break it down quite simply for you. Let's say you're buying a £20 million footballer, and there's a player on the open market who's worth £20 million. You would pay £20 million transfer fee, 50 grand wages, and about 1 million signing on. For the free transfer, because you're not paying a transfer fee, they end up getting a 10 million signing on fee, they get 125 grand a week and a bigger agent's fee. So you end up spending the same amount. It just goes into different places. That's why the club doesn't like the free transfer market, because it ruins wage structures. And Dicker will come in and instantly become one of the higher paid players at the club, and he's average, bang average. He can't play in a back two. He cannot play in a back two.
Gavi's not free. Gavi's contract runs out in 2026.
He signed that new contract. They've managed to sort out that contract situation now. But yeah, Ndicka, I'm sorry, no, I'm not on that Ndicka hype train, because I don't believe.
I hear what you're saying. You have to pay wages, agents, and blah blah blah. But at the same time, the player's transfer value is 0. So by definition, it is off value. So even if you sign Ndicka for free and you give him like, 90 grand a week just to use him as an option or whatever the hell, you could sell him in the summer for 15 million. You've already made your money back.
No, but then Hassam, guess what? It's not that simple, because let's say you go and bring in a £20 million player. You give them that money, you give them that wage, and then they stink up the gaff. You're not able to sell them because no one's going to pay that wage, and they're not going to adjust. They're not going to change that wage.
But Liverpool tax is heavy. Just playing for Liverpool, you could get your price tag up.
If you're English,
how much were people willing to pay for Nat Phillips?
15 million.
Yeah, 15, 20 million. That's Nat Phillips.
That went this summer, by the way. That was when he was at the.
No, but that's not the point. That's the most basic defender you could get. Someone who heads the ball out. That's it.
He's worth 15 million.
Come on, Tom. Come on.
You
know how many Nat Phillipses you could find in League 2. Have some shame. Big up to Selection who says Zerbi would have never allowed this. Here we go with this fucking Zerbi shit. Every time there's something.
I don't get this Zerbi stuff.
Zerbi hype, bro. We just saw Potter move to Chelsea, and you saw how that ended up. Zerbi, bro. Bro, once again, if you want to sack Klopp, okay, no problem. But at least give me someone of the caliber. How many times? Bro, like, get me Zidane, get me Ancelotti, get me fucking Enrique. Get me someone proper. Like, you keep telling Zerbi, Amorim, all these fucking random, young, youthful ass managers. They don't work at Liverpool, man. In my opinion, Klopp takes most blame on this decline.
Take Amorim's name out your mouth.
You must have looked at this strategically over the few past seasons. FSG are penny pinchers. We spent badly. But once again, I am not absolving Klopp of any responsibility.
No, you're
I'm
not.
just saying Klopp has fucked up last summer, and he messed up massively. And I have already been quoted, and you can ask Tom Little this, because we have done 100 Hussam X Tom Littles. I've said, the reason we messed up this summer is 100% Jurgen Klopp. I'm blaming him for this summer. But all I'm saying is, as of today, this current moment, Klopp wants Jude. FSG not giving him the money for Jude. So how can I blame Klopp for this current moment? I can't.
No.
I understand the ripple effect and how it affects us now, but the guy wants the player, give him the player. Simple. Big up to Zlatan says, hola gang. Nice to see you here, Jamie. Big up, Jamie. Jude Bellingham being off is bad news. Yet if we don't sign multiple players, the point of signing Jude, we will still be bad. Yes. Once again, we've explained this earlier on. Based on principle, we should get Jude because you wasted 2 years of my life. Second of all, we don't trust said Liverpool Football Club to get the 3 correct signings now that Jude's gone. Do you trust them to get a McAllister, a Lavia, and a Kone? No. They're probably going to get a Mount, and I don't know who the fuck we get, alongside them. So, there's going to be a long-ass summer, man. And I'm going to do all these streams bald, inshallah. So big up to you guys, man. Big up, Zlatan. Captain Sal says, not finished offer is already a sackable offense. Lamptey and Jay are spot on. Enabler out.
This
new
press
manager
conference on
comes
Friday's
in.
big. This press conference, I need to see something on this press conference on Friday.
This Friday press conference is very important. I'm agreeing with you. Like, I might actually watch that and do a reaction to it just straight after.
Yeah, I do reactions to always ones. It is good. But with Klopp, he holds all the power. Like everyone said, if he did say something against the owners, there's no way they could do anything because how powerful Klopp is, because they'll all come for FSG.
The closest he's got to saying something about these owners is when he asked for centre-backs. Remember when he said, I want centre-backs, but we haven't got the money for it. And then all of a sudden, 2 days later, we got 2, admittedly shit, but they were bodies and they were centre-backs. So he clearly does have power.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I'd love, though, if, because we don't know what's going to happen. We sort of know because of who our owners are, but look, if FSG actually go and get us 3 very good midfielders in the summer, I'll be happy. I think we all would be, but I just don't trust them, and that's the problem. For me, saying no to Bellingham tells me they got players lined up already that they want to go for. Because if you haven't, and you're going into the summer game, and we're going into July, into August, and we still might like that player, but we don't know about his value. This is madness. Players should already be lined up. Just line these players up and go and buy them because they are capable of it. We've seen it before. Fabinho coming in the day after the Champions League final loss out of nowhere. Gakpo was sort of out of nowhere as well. Darwin came in. Alisson, Virgil. They are capable of doing these good transfers and getting jobs done. So I'm hoping they got players lined up that they're talking to already. They're talking to their agents, representatives, whatever, feeling it out, making sure, right, would they come here if we offer tomorrow? Yeah.
But even from a financial perspective, Jamie, paying 50 million even for Mount, who has 1 year left on his contract, that's not a good idea.
No, it's not. You shouldn't. That is the thing. We did it before. Did we buy Ox for 40 million with a year left on his deal?
Yes, Oxlade is the worst
35 million
this club has made.
Yeah. I didn't mind Ox. I've got to say, I didn't mind Ox in his first season. I thought Ox in his first season was
before
really
the
good.
knee injury. He had a good 3 months.
I wouldn't mind him starting next game. I can't lie to you. I'm just
I'm not starting him now. I'm not starting him now. There's no point starting him now.
One question before you read that super chat. What do we do? I know this is a question that everyone hates, but what do we actually do about Jordan Henderson? And the reason I say this is because the one thing I will say, Jordan Henderson looks like Jurgen Klopp's number one midfielder. And the reason I say that is because when he's fit, Jordan plays. Jordan starts games. He played 3 games in 7 days this week. That's balmy. And he seems to be the player that he really rates out of everyone in that midfield. So I'm just wondering what you guys think we actually do with Hendo. Because if he's not leaving this football club, right, that's a space kept in midfield that someone else could take. So what do we do actually with players like that?
We sit there and we say we need 3 midfielders, and we do need 3 midfielders. But we all know what the starting 11 will be on the opening day of next season. Who will be in that midfield?
No, don't do this.
It will be Fabinho. It will be Henderson. It will be Thiago. Henderson is there.
Here's my thing. I don't agree with that. I don't. And here's the thing. Here's my problem. Arsene Wenger. I once watched an interview for him, and he speaks on transfer windows. Sometimes subtraction is just as important as addition. Sometimes getting someone out who's a manager favorite, who's likely to start games, who's just there all the time, kind of disruptive on the pitch at a lot of moments. Us getting rid of Henderson is just as equivalent as us getting a good midfielder in. Because now we've already saying Henderson won't be starting for us anymore. And my thing is, if we start the season badly next year, God forbid, because I can't handle another shit season. If we start the season badly next year, and whatever, we have 3 losses in 10 and we're in 7th or some shit. If we start the season badly, I see a world in which Klopp just goes back to Henderson because he trusts him and he starts him again. So that is my issue. Even if there is new people, I just don't see it. For me, there is zero net positive of keeping Henderson. And we spoke on leadership earlier. Look, there's multiple leaders in this team. Salah could do the leadership. Van Dijk, Trent, Robertson. So many people can do this leadership role. I don't think we need Henderson specifically to be the head of the snake.
But Hassam, see, you've forgotten a crucial part. We must get a commission off every book Jordan Henderson sells. So we're going to rinse that money that we can get. So just keep him around.
I nicked that one, so I didn't pay for it.
my missus bought me it as a fuck you present. So my missus funded FSG with a fuck you present of Jordan Henderson. My missus kept Jordan Henderson around.
On Klopp, it doesn't matter what he did last season. Klopp mentioned himself, he cares less of the past. Knowing FSG, he must have started a rebuild few seasons back. Brother, I agree with you completely, Balaji, and thank you so much for the support. I agree with you. I have no disagreements with this whatsoever. No one is saying I disagree with it. But as of this moment in time, FSG are the main culprits, the biggest problem at Liverpool Football Club. And when speaking on Jurgen Klopp and, his past, this is why for me, next season, I expect us to win the Premier League. Specifically, there is one scenario in which I will refuse to accept anything less than winning the Premier League is if we have no Europe and we're literally playing 1 game a week, then I'm sorry, there is no excuses to not be lifting the Premier League at the end of the year. If I'm playing only Saturday and then 7 days later or 8 days later, then you can't come and tell me depth this, depth that, blah, 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 blah. I couldn't care less. Genuinely zero shits given. Next season, it should be win the Premier League. So I completely agree with that element of, listen, the credit in the bank, we give him this year. We give him the year where the centre-backs got injured. Last year, we didn't win the Premier, we didn't win the Champs, but we came so close, so we give it to him. But now, I'm sorry, from this next season onwards, there is no more give it to him from my side. Like, it's going to be win the Premier League, or I just don't think you can take us forward anymore. It's as simple as that for me. And I just think all the world-class players in this team are mentally fatigued. They're all tired. They've all had enough. Trent, every day he wears this Liverpool shirt, he's like, oh, fucking hell, I've got to play next to Henderson again. Virgil van Dijk is like, oh my God, I've got to deal with Matip and Gomez again. Salah's like, oh, look at this crap midfield, not giving me the ball. They're all just tired. They're genuinely all just tired. And they don't have respect for the captain anymore. They don't admire him or show him the love. But it is what it is, Balaji, man. It is what it is. Anyway, listen. We're going to wrap it up here. It's been an hour and a half of an absolutely elite show. Everyone watching us right now, there's still 470 people watching us, man. Love for the love, my lovely people. Make sure you slap the like button right now. Stop what you're doing this very second. Hit that like button. We have hit 300 likes, so big up to you guys. Before you leave us, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. Big up to Felipe, Buck, Selection, Ale, Luis, Satadisha, Messi FC, Qusay, D, Sidi, Alan, Mike, Vagabond, Balaji, Sal, and Zlatan for the super chats. Gracias to every single people who sends in super chats. Always shows us the love and support. Love for the love, my lovely people. Like the video, subscribe. We're going to go around the lovely panel that I'm going to let you know where you can find them. Jamie Phillips, welcome back to the channel, my brother. Where can the people find you?
You can find me at Jamie Phillips Football Chats. Let's get the stuff out. So yeah, you can find me at Jamie Phillips Football Chats, guys. That's where you can find me. Come and subscribe over there, and yeah, if you like people ranting and throwing things out of windows, not people, books and stuff, then yeah, come and subscribe.
I'm a big admirer of Jamie's work. I actually do tune into his channel every multiple times. I tune into his channel. The only reason I haven't been on Jamie's channel is because it's just every time the timing just doesn't work. One day it's my mom's birthday, one day something's happening. I'm already agreed on something, but I'm
every time I ask you Sam to come on, it's actually he's got a celebration of something going on.
Genuinely something happening.
We're working at quite similar times.
It's literally something happening the moment he wants to go live, you know.
How many times have you chucked that Henderson book out the window? How many times have you chucked that Henderson book out the window?
I'll tell you what, quite a bit, and it's still in pristine condition. So whoever's making that book, big up.
Good quality.
You know, it's good quality.
I can't believe that Jordan Henderson book has covered more ground than Jordan Henderson this season.
That's fair.
More ground.
That's fair. Tom Little, where can people find you?
Tom Little with the one instead of an I on YouTube.
Can you say with a bit of enthusiasm so they can actually subscribe? Why are you saying it like your dad? Here, let me give the screen, brother.
Oh, yippee.
So just tell them now. Smile, look at the camera, say it with confidence. Come and subscribe to Tom Little, say it.
It sounds like a hostage negotiation video. Where's the cards that you want me to read off? No, it's Tom Little with the one instead of the I on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, the works. I'll stream probably tomorrow with what I'll do with my transfer window and what I wouldn't do. Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher, Yuri Tielemans, all them. Honestly, if we end up with those three, man, oh my God, we'd actually go backwards. I genuinely think that midfield would be worse than we've got now.
If we end up with Gallagher, Mount, and Tielemans, this is a step back, not a step forward. 100%. It's a step back. But anyway, big up to you guys. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Before you leave, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Big up everyone who sent in super chats. Big up everyone who shares, all of that good stuff. We're approaching 12.5k subs. Tomorrow, inshallah, I'm going to do the United Sevilla game. And then probably at 11 p.m., I'm going to do a European review type thing. We've got Mo Inter coming on. I've asked Carefree Lewis. I'll see if he's free. And yeah, we're gonna get you guys a panel to come on the channel and speak football. So like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Peace.